the other night. It's long, but it's pretty good. I put that
It
together.
looks. Show me how to edit someday so I can fix my videos.
Well, we're live, just so you know. So
Oh,
don't say anything that
Nothing
you
that you'll
don't want
regret.
people to hear. Oh, I got to put the hat on. This is my professional look when I put the
wait,
hat on.
hat. Wait, I'm sorry. Keep going. I'll get a hat.
That's my interviewing hat right there.
Oh, we on? We're not on yet.
Here we are.
We are?
Yes.
Oh shit.
Oh, there we go. First curse word of the night.
Sorry, folks.
All right. Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing?
The live and uncut Donna Marian.
Hey, John McGinnis. What? Oh, now that's a hat. That hat looks good on you.
We all have to have hats, right?
Hello, Jackie. Hello, Kathy. How's everyone doing? I know we weren't really planning on doing this live, but we figured why not? It's Friday night. We're old. We got nothing to do. Hello, Carol. Sharon says hi. Carol,
Hi.
Donna.
Aaron.
I actually had something to do when he said, no, get your butt on.
I did, actually. Good evening, everyone. Okay, we'll get right into it. The lady in the hat, in case you don't know who that is Donna Marian, the world famous owner of the Creeper Gallery, which you know that we go to every week or other week. Donna is the owner. If you don't know, she's the brilliant artist. When I show you all that artwork,
Please.
you are. I mean,
You
I love
are.
that stuff.
You are.
Thank you.
And she acquires all of those haunted objects that we have the pleasure and the honor of investigating. For those of you who don't know, Donna, talk about how you got the idea for the Creeper Gallery and how that whole thing started.
Well, actually, I used to create Gothic dolls and sell them online. I did that for 25 years. Dead dolls, creepy things, small that I could ship. And I did that forever. And then my first doggie that was my soul baby passed away, and I was paralyzed, and had lunch with Danny Devereaux, like I guess it's almost 10 years ago now. And we decided to try and open a shop in New Hope to try and get me out of my funk, I guess. And that's how it started. We didn't handle haunted items in the beginning. It was just art pieces. We got more into oddities. And then, some of the oddities were, the market was saturated. They weren't really selling. So I came up with an idea, because I've always been involved with haunted items and other stuff. But, try just a little case of that, just to like kind of a novelty thing, like people could read the stories whether they believed or not, and just a real small case. And it went crazy. It just went crazy. It went from one small case in a month where everybody would gather around it to 2 cases. And then I ended up with my storage room, turning that into a red room. And I can't make it any bigger now. It could be.
I'll tell the story real quick about how I met Donna. I was looking for people to interview for our cable access show many moons ago, and I came across this article about Donna and her shop and Zach Baggins and the museum and how she was involved in all that. And I reached out to her, and we talked on the phone, and I'm like, let me just come in and interview you and check out the store and everything and the haunted objects. And we hit it off from like on the phone a little bit, but then when we met, and I was kind of like on the fence about whether it was legit or not. And then, right, the first time we went there, they were filming us, and the chain came off the 1 or 2 cases that she had on command and started
The lock.
just moving. And I was like, did everybody see that? And Donna was like, yeah, well,
got it
nothing
on film. Yeah.
That was nothing, compared to what I'm used to.
What's up, Jay?
But let me tell you, interviewing you about the shop and about if they were haunted and all of it, and you were telling him stories beforehand, and to have that happen while he was doing the interview was amazing.
Well, the thing is, there wasn't really anything like it around. So, it's like, I didn't know if people would be interested. I'm glad, they were, and I'm glad I met you guys. And, we've taken it to another 10.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's like, it's crazy, and it's still to this day, it's just jammed, constantly jammed with people. So, eventually I'm going to have to do something different, maybe get another place. It's expensive in New Hope, though.
Yeah, really expensive.
I've thought about like expanding a bit because I think the psychic's leaving next door. And I have a hallway from our place to her place. So
Oh,
that's
wow.
perfect red room. But
Wouldn't that be cool?
well, yeah, except that it's $2,000 a month.
Oh my God, yeah, that would be crazy. Yeah, that would be crazy.
Hope's really crazy. So I could charge like a museum, I guess, but New Hope's not crazy about that kind of stuff. So
somebody said it looks like you have a red room in your house too, Donna.
this is my bedroom is like a red room. So when I bring them in here to live with me for a while, they'll feel right at home when they get to the other red rooms. So.
Yeah, she's nutty like that. When
nutty.
Well,
well, that's why you took it along.
Saying, but when Donna acquires these items from different places in different ways, she will bring some of them home, and they'll be in her room, and she'll be around them just to kind of get an idea of the energy and the vibe.
We have with them, yeah.
Listen.
What I want to stop you though, but because there was one in particular that kind of bit you in the butt with the remember the cross scratch
biting me in the butt. You kidding?
That was the cursed box. Correct?
Yeah, cursed box I actually had here about 3 weeks before.
Yeah, you were nutty about that one too.
Huh?
You were kind of obsessed with that one a little bit.
I still am. Not as much. There's other things to be obsessed about.
Oh, if you're telling me.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm cautious with it now, though. I don't mess with it. It stays in the store. It's like that Alfred we did, the shadow box with the photo concentration camp. I mean, 2 weeks he was here and he wouldn't leave me alone. And I took him to the shop, and the one medium I had read, Violet Bloom, she said, I haven't stopped thinking about him since I read him. I said, I haven't stopped thinking about him since I bought him. He's really a strong, spirit. And I had Armand there today, and he says, oh my God, he's strong. He's strong. And I'm like, yeah. I said, he kind of sticks with you. And I'd be curious to see if in a couple of weeks he's still thinking about him. It's a weird piece. So
stuck with you a little bit too.
What one?
The guy who was starved to death.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
I think about him every day. It's the craziest thing. It's like he's not even here. I had to get him out of here pretty quick because I made up that shadow box, and it took me weeks to do the research, but I needed to protect him and kind of show people what he went through. You know what I mean? Instead of just a card and his picture, which was fine. I needed to do all that. So, but he's right now. He's bugging us all now. Anybody that interacted with him. So,
another one that's lingering with me is Catherine, the mirror and the brush.
Got her. And honestly, I haven't lived with her because I think she was anything wrong. You know what I mean? There's a sadness for sure, but it didn't stick with me, where I worried about, it harming somebody. If I think somebody,
she's just got a lot of sorrow. Like it drowns you if you get too connected to her.
Oh, I know. See, I try to not keep the sad ones with me too long.
Yeah.
Evil ones, yeah, but not sad ones.
Evil ones, yeah, but not the sad ones.
No, you can't really subject yourself to that constantly. Yeah.
That I don't need to. I understand why I'm sad and what the effect is, but she's not harmful in any way. She's
no.
There's nothing there that concerns me. If something's a really strong attachment, I need to know why. I need to know why. I need to warn you, or I need to warn the medium, or you know what I mean? So if there's something really bad, I need to know that, right out the gate. So
were you surprised about the acrobat that Armand said that there was evil attached?
Yeah. Think about it. I would have.
Did you watch those videos yet or no? They're in the Google share.
Did watch them.
Okay.
Yeah. I was really shocked about that, honestly, because I'm going to tell you, I saw that honestly at a thrift store.
Oh my God.
And I never go buy the toys or any of that because it's all junk, for the most.
Right.
And so I just run in. I look for stuff to use for art, you
Right.
know, like anything that I can use with the art stuff. And I just kept getting pulled over to the toys, and I'm like, hell, there's that little toy, right? And I'm like, that thing just let me know it was there.
Yeah.
I don't have any clue about it, which is why it had no information on it, because obviously I bought it. And I didn't even live with it because I thought, it's a toy, you know. I
Yeah, he kind of shocked me with that. He was just like, he's looking at it, he's holding it, and he's like, there's a really dark spirit. This is evil. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
when he
what?
came out with the word evil, I went, yep, I'm way over here, way
Well,
away from you guys.
stayed in my car. I just left it in the car after I bought it. I never took it out of the car. So I had no way of knowing. I just basically took it out of the car and put it in the cabinet. And you were literally there like 2 days later. So I'm like, we'll see what's with it. I was shocked at that though, you know.
They again, to kind of go backwards here. When I met Donna, um, you know, I love the store. I love the fact that she had those haunted objects. I love, again, for those of you who don't know, Madeline. Madeline is a spirit that was
I locked Madame Clara. Sorry. I locked Madame Clara's cabinet that she likes to open.
okay.
Yeah. I locked that on Sunday because it kept opening in the morning.
Yep.
And, some days she's going to knock it into somebody and they'll sue me. But just see that cabinet across where all the skulls are and stuff.
Right.
Somebody moved the little things I had pushed up against it. She opened that and banged it into all the stuff sitting on the thing while I was there. So I had to tape it shut so she couldn't open it. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. She's still there. She's still really active though. If you do something she doesn't like.
She told me the story about Madeline being there, and Madeline, lived in the building, and there was a fire in the building, and Madeline may have perished. And there was a big fire in New Hope, I guess, or a couple of buildings
burned down, all of it, the whole town.
Okay. And Madeline, there was toys in a different area when I first came there, and I was always like, "Oh, can we use the toys in the investigation?" And Donna was like, "Don't touch those toys, because I'll come in here and there'll be stuff off the walls on the floor broken. I'm not kidding. Don't mess with their toys." So we didn't, but again, she had a medium at the time. It was Jeanette, and I love Jeanette, and I miss Jeanette. I'm angry. I miss the angry. And that Scottish accent. But then we came in and started investigating, and it was this cool kind of synergy, between the mediums and what Donna was doing, acquiring these items, and us coming in and investigated them. And it all worked so well. And again, we're all about documenting as much as we can and trying to provide tangible proof if there is such a thing. And the fact that she acquires the items and then we go through what we go through in the medium, Violet Bloom will give you a novel of the time of birth to the time of death.
Sorry, you know who's got to come in.
Momo.
He's screaming at the door.
Oh, poor kid.
But yeah, no, she's actually, we're trying to work it so people can get to know the mediums a little better. So my plans this summer were to videotape the impression, right? And she's not really comfortable doing that.
I get it.
But she's going to do it. And I said, if you don't want to show your face or whatever, I said, put your eye in there or something, like half a face. Or I think she'll do it for me.
Just keep it on the item, right?
Well, she doesn't have the items because she's out in Illinois.
Yeah. Oh.
So she does her readings strictly through
remotely. Yeah.
And nice lady though, and so often she'll have a question she'll ask me, and I'll just tell her what I know. And but her and Michelle. I said, when you do your impressions, I want to start videotaping them. This way, people, I can do a QR code, put them on YouTube or whatever, and they can go right to the impression, right? As well as your investigation. So that's my goal this summer. I don't know. Michelle, of course, said she would do it that way, but I don't know about Violet Bloom. I think she will. She said she'll try it, but I know her husband's not been well, so
Yeah.
I don't want to bug her right now. So,
And then Violet will be like, and then in 1884,
well,
she cut her first tooth.
I
And
know
then in 1880, I mean, Violet just goes into a whole.
just does so much
Yeah.
digging and research. I mean, I do too, but she finds stuff that I don't even find. And she wants to back up her, her reading, I guess. But a lot of people like her readings because there's some depth to them, like Every Little Tooth, or How to Sing the German Song.
That's what I mean. It was we go through those write-ups and it's just like
10 pages later.
Yeah.
Still
well, the write-ups are hard for like auctions and stuff.
I have a hard enough time with a card. I'm like, okay, name is Ray, lived in Philadelphia, died this way. Go.
Well,
she was doing drawings too, right?
Put a little bit on a card and call it, okay. Unless there's importance to the other stuff.
Of course.
Yeah.
And then I figure in the end, the buyer will have a lot of information. So I appreciate Violet. She's wonderful. She's a wonderful person to talk to too. And I'll see if she can do the video impressions. I'm sure they'll be in Violet.
I'm sure there'll be part 1, part 2, and part 3 for every object.
Well, I love her readings.
Right.
And I had Bob Morgan in this weekend. But I have to tell you, Bob Morgan's always shit-faced when he comes in.
Make sure a good reading. Get that on video.
He won't let me
I
videotape.
could imagine.
He'll let me videotape the readings, but he won't let me videotape his face because he said, because I don't want the feds to find me.
Oh my God. But we talked about this a lot too. In the beginning, when we first kind of met, you really didn't talk a lot about being kind of intuitive or whatever the word that we call clairvoyant.
No, I think it's
whatever.
in the last year you even talked about it.
Yeah.
I have to. Yeah.
But I mean, that's something you've always had, right?
Yeah, since birth. I mean, it got stronger at certain times in my life, but actually Armand and I were talking about that today. Certain things that, like even he's been read by another medium.
Okay.
I never have. I don't want to. But like we both talked about how we've lost people like our parents or pets or how, and he, and as well as me, we can't connect with any of the people that have passed that are in our world, in our circle, but we can connect with everybody else, but not.
I think that's true for most mediums that we've ever met. To be honest with you.
I asked him, I'm like, why do you think that, why do you think that is? He doesn't know either. He'd love to connect with his mother and stuff, but he said,
maybe you wouldn't do what you did if you could sit down and have a conversation with your loved ones that are gone.
Yeah, but we can't connect. It's the weirdest thing. Maybe, I don't know. He's like he said, maybe they don't, I don't know. He doesn't.
I don't know either. It's weird how that works. But the objects, a few of them that come to mind, we've done some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Donna and I, since we got together, we met. Probably the craziest thing we did was opening up that curse box.
Hey, Dana.
Not my idea.
Not my idea either.
I don't know what side of the
Well, it
screen
certainly
she's
wasn't
on,
mine, people.
But we didn't know. Yeah, we didn't know what was in it. We were all curious what was in it because it could have been gold coins or pirate treasure or God knows what.
Yeah.
And we were all curious about it. But we were warned many, many, many times that if you don't know what the curse box is, go back on New Jersey Paranormal.
You can't say we all. You and Donna were curious. When she said it was bad juju, I had no curiosity whatsoever.
Well, so go back and look up curse box New Jersey Paranormal. You'll hear the whole entire story. But that's when we talked about this before. I never thought curses were real until that damn box was opened and I saw the aftermath of what happened and what we may in theory unleashed.
Well,
And
I
then we
heard-
had the book, which was a whole nother story where something really are you
heard it.
gun shy at all when it comes to objects that maybe we shouldn't fool around with
No.
certain. Yeah, me either. That's why I have this one here. She's my voice of reason almost.
My husband goes, go for it. Oh my God. No. No.
Yeah, he was the one that was brave with the saw to help you with opening and
Joe-
all.
yeah,
So
Joe
he was
opened it.
like right into it.
He doesn't care. He says, you know, Zach Bagans.
What's that going to do for you?
But after that one, I was like, whoa, like I didn't realize that kind of potential existed. Like I heard stories about Robert the Doll and Annabelle and all this other stuff.
I'm up in the air about Annabelle, but
Me too.
I
I
believe
told you that.
in Robert the Doll only because, you know, I've seen thousands of people over the years, and I've had so many people come in that actually experience stuff with Robert the Doll.
Okay.
And exactly what the claims are. So I think there is something to him.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe the entire backstory on him, but there is.
But you know, like the skeptic part of my brain was like, yeah, that's all Hollywood. That's all blah, 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 blah. But then that damn box came into our lives and it was like, what the hell did we do? Like, oh my God, like that kind of energy or whatever you want to call it to be trapped for a reason. And then
what do you always compare it to? Indiana Jones and the Lost Ark?
Oh, that's what we were talking about.
Like being opened up and
no, I said if and when I ever burn it, which I intend to do, that would be the Indiana Jones.
You're not getting rid of that thing.
Suck me into the fire.
No, it was wild. We planned the opening. We planned videotaping the opening. We didn't plan at all whatever happened after that because Donna was warned. We were warned. Jeanette kept saying, hey, you two, whatever you're thinking of doing to protect yourselves, it ain't going to be enough.
She did.
Whatever's in there is bad, bad, bad.
Yep.
And she wasn't kidding. It's on the video. She was dead serious.
Even the box warned us.
Yeah.
Ovulus that morning, it told me not to open it. I said, I'm going to open it. Don't open it.
No. And we did it. And then she acquires this book that none of us could read.
Oh, Lord.
It's an old religious book.
We're not done with that. We just started that.
You think I'm going to touch that book ever again as long as I live?
I will. But the thing is, we
better learn Latin.
We never finished an investigation.
No. Oh, Violet Bloom
well,
is
look
actually
what happened.
Well, I know, but the thing is, you still have to investigate them. How do you do that?
Dominus. That's the only word I know that he was saying. I heard him say that word over and over.
I got crosses on my.
There he is. And there's Momo.
This is with this. Like I don't
Hello,
know
Momo.
hear that.
I got crosses all over my wall. So.
Hello, Violet Bloom is on right now. Hello, Violet. How are you? But then she brings in this book that's really old. Now I thought going from the curse box to the censors was kind of sketchy. Censors was a whole nother thing altogether. Yeah, I don't mess
with them.
No, we tried a couple of times and every time it was kind of not good, including
I don't want to give them any energy at all.
Including this one here.
Why are you pointing?
Because she got bit by the censor bug.
Oh, I sure did get bit by that one. I won't mess with those again either.
I don't know eventually, but yeah, I kind of try to ignore those right now. The censors in the box. The book, I'm still raring to go with the book because here's what I think with that book. I think whoever that Monsignor is that was doing all that, supposedly his name's in the book, protecting the book. I think that's what he's doing, protecting the book.
I agree.
So if you are, and we didn't know he was going to do exorcism things, right? We just said
I don't
speak
think he
Latin.
knew. I think he was in a trance.
Oh, I believe that. But the thing is that the Monsignor that's attached, his whole thing in forever is to protect that book,
Bingo. Yeah.
right? So he's going to do it whether it's scary or not. He's going to do it however he has to do it. So if you approach it with that in mind, that what is attached is going to go to any length to protect that book.
But are you convinced 100% with a surety that that's what that was? And
So because that's who spoke at the end in the EVPs confirming it, and that was the claims. So I do think that whoever his name's in the front, I think he's protecting the book still. I think that was his thing, protect that book.
That reminds me of, like, I'm not a real religious person or whatever, but those Indiana Jones movies where they had the spirits protecting, like, the Holy Grail and
Well,
all those other things that can leave an imprint, of that spirit in life and death
in those
being there.
that's like it's like somebody, a bodyguard.
Right. But
Right.
and it's a sacred vow. It's a lifelong vow to
Why
protect it.
Why wouldn't it continue after death?
Right.
I think it would. So who knows? We don't know. But to me, the more I thought about the book, the less afraid I became of it, because I just think it has power to do things for sure.
Right.
But I don't know that its intent is that. I think
So to recap real quick for those of you guys who kind of were in the middle of the story, we had somebody that we know that spoke Latin because the book is written in Latin. Just see if we can make a connection, because we couldn't communicate with whoever was attached to the book. It was written in Latin. This person started speaking to the book in Latin and literally went into like a trance type of state where their voice was rising and rising. They were getting louder and louder, engaging. And we were mapping figures, and we saw one of the page almost move. It was like
they were invoking.
It was really weird. And then he had really bad stuff happen from the minute he left the shop.
His life fell apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Terrible things. And that's how they seem to operate, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right? So, yeah. But we didn't realize he was doing exorcism rites.
No. No clue.
That's like Indiana Jones.
And he told us afterwards, and we were like, what are you doing that for?
I know.
Like if something is attached to that, you're trying to pull it off.
Just a religious man,
I get it, but man.
It just, I don't know. I'm not 100% convinced with the book that it's bad.
Yeah, me either.
I think it's powerful. Like, it can do good or bad. But I think if we have to finish the investigation, it has to be maybe more with equipment like motion sensors or
yeah.
We didn't have any of that going.
No, we were just there to see what.
Well, we tried to get EVPs, and we had the SLS set up.
But it was during the day too, pretty busy in town, so it was kind of like one.
Well, good. I volunteer you and Donna to sit with it, and you guys do it.
Actually, I would sit with that book because they can't do any more bad to me than the box.
Oh, don't say never tempt fate, man.
I'll tell you what, again, the box story, just to go back if you haven't watched it, bad things happened after we opened it, but Donna actually had a scratch on her neck in the shape of a cross, and there is a cross on the box itself.
And actually, it's every picture I have of me holding the box, it's there.
Yeah.
So like, okay, that was actually Tony Romeo, whatever channel he's on.
Weekend Filler.
Said, and the worst part is, and that's why we haven't seen him in so long, but he's coming this year, he said. But
cool.
He said it was frame number 666.
Get out of here.
However, frame has a number.
Yeah.
And they're editing. It's 666 is the frame number, and it's me with holding the box with the cross on my neck, and it's 666. So that's pretty wild,
But the we talked about this before. I talk about this a lot when what we do about the different energy mixing with different types of things. And the thing that I remember that's kind of funny in a way was that we're doing the auction, which we're doing another auction at the end of April, and we're doing the auction. I can't remember what items that we had that we were doing, but I'm literally like next to these objects, and I'm like, hey, whatever, nothing. Talking about the objects, talking about the investigation, and Donna and why can't I think of her name?
Michelle.
Michelle. Donna and Michelle are over there both at the same time going, oh my God. Oh my God. Do you feel that? It's like
Having
so hot and we're nauseous and we're hot. And I'm like, I'm thinking female issue. Maybe that's why I'm not. But they literally were like affected at the exact same moment by the objects. And I'm thinking, I don't feel a darn thing that they're feeling, you know? And we always tell people that, like people that buy these objects, people that are going to own these
Some
objects,
people
that,
get
hey,
affected where
there are no
others don't.
guarantees on how energy is going to mix with any energy,
Well,
you know?
You've had that at auction, at one of the auctions too, where you got that.
Yeah.
Hot, and you're like, oh.
I walk away, man. When that starts happening, even when we were at the evil acrobat is what I'm calling them now. I'm sitting next to that thing and I'm like, I'm feeling anxiety. I'm starting to kind of like breathe into a paper bag thing, and I'm looking like, is that the big head baby doll that the woman drowned or the girl drowned in the hurricane? And then I looked over and the evil acrobat is next to me, and I'm like, son of a bee, that's that thing. I bet you it's that thing.
Here's a weird thing that Armand told me today. So you know Morgan Earp, the shade.
Yeah.
So he did this. I'll be posting it over the next week, but he did the impression of that, and there's some evil involved with that. And he said that, and you literally sit across from that. He said, see this area here, and you walk back to the red room. There's an area right here. If you walk through it, you're going to feel the evil because he's got control of the back of the red room, part of the red room that he's in. So it's pretty interesting, you know, that he said that, because you always sit right across from that cabin.
Always. And the funny thing about, again, going back to the curse box in that book, more so the curse box, every time I go in there, this is the God's honest truth, I don't make a lot of eye contact with the curse box. I don't. And I don't really engage it. I hang things, I go around, I do what I do. But I really don't pay it a lot of attention because it really does feel like that thing is like staring at you. Just kind of like daring you to like a pit bull to pet it. And then, you know what I mean? And I'm like,
I ignore it completely. So maybe the book being in there and religion getting together there, I don't know, maybe something will happen.
Well, but I told you, and I felt horrible about it. I still do to this day. My daughter, my son, my son-in-law wanted to go into the Creeper Gallery, and I have the key, thanks to Donna. And I went in there, and of all the objects that they wanted to bring out, the curse box was one of them. And you remember, I brought it out.
She does.
I put it down, and they want to do an EVP session. I did a really good. We got really good EVPs, and they were like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" Unbeknownst to me, at the same time, Donna's dog before Momo, had a seizure for the first time in a year.
Yeah,
and it was at the exact same time that I was at the shop.
And Teddy was affected the first time you guys opened that bloody box. So here we went around, boom, all over again.
I knew it then because once I knew that time period synced up with that.
Yeah.
That's when I put it in a case that nobody has a key to but me. Nobody's touching it. Nobody.
I felt so bad because literally I'm talking to Donna at the shop and she's like, when were you here doing that? And I'm like, oh, it was like Tuesday night or Wednesday night. She said, what time? Yep. I said, I don't know, 7, 8 o'clock. And she was like, Teddy had a seizure at that exact time. And I went, ugh.
Yeah. And that's when I knew that he was really still being affected by it. So,
yeah. Felt horrible.
Well,
I did.
Well, don't feel horrible.
Right? Well, at the time, there he is. There's
you got a little Momo.
Momo's a sweetie. Momo was so afraid of me the first time he met me, that little chicken dog.
I know.
Listen, you know what? You know what? My favorite part when I go in the store every time, and I know
Me
you
with
got.
me.
Besides that, when you have your new murder or mayhem boxes where you
those are
do
really
your
cool.
minute. Oh my God! He knows it too. I go crazy over those.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of them right now.
How long does something like that take you?
Oh, I work on them 6-8 months.
Holy crap.
So,
There's a lot of detail and research on them. I know that you're doing.
well, even just the cost, I just did the, Sweeney Todd one. And he's holding
I love it.
the little tiny razor blade, straight edge. Yeah, that was.
So,
People don't realize that each one of those tiny little things is $20 or $30 to buy. So some of them have hundreds of pieces in them. So
yeah.
expensive, but they're very time consuming too.
I actually said it was so funny because we went in, we set up, he did his thing with Armand, we got stuff ready for the live investigation, and we were talking, and all of a sudden I looked up and I'm like, oh, I didn't know this was sitting here, and I'm just like, and John goes, you didn't? I go, no, and I'm just like, and he goes, you're crazy.
She does. She misses like obvious things all the time.
Well, I just brought those in, that and that painting that you were looking at. And
the one that's on the floor, or you mean the one that was above? I like that one a lot.
I finished it last week, and I did finish the Sweeney Todd when we were waiting for the glass that's on top, to finish it. So I did bring them in Sunday. So they've only been there. You were the first ones to see them probably.
And that's what I always, before we do the live, just for you guys watching, I always pan the front of the store to kind of give you the idea of the artwork and the creations that both her and Madame Clara, because that entire room is full. I never do it justice because I would have to pan up and down, corner to corner to really show you everything.
And you still wouldn't catch all the pieces that are in there.
No, the artwork is really cool too. If you just want to go there for that, avoid the back room, which a lot of people do.
They do.
We'll be in there hanging out, and like the people kind of will peek in there, or like the wife will go in, and then the husband like.
Donna has a love affair with Poe. You're gonna find a lot of things with Poe.
Lots. Yeah. I always did love Poe.
Yep.
So people are asking about the stolen items a lot, and I felt bad because again, we were there, and she was the one who noticed the monkey skull necklace. People are shitty. People are a-holes, and that's kind of an ongoing investigation type of thing, right? There's been no updates on that.
Yeah, they have all the info, and actually, I'm doing sketches of the guys now because I think I know who took them, and I don't think we'll ever see them again.
No.
The thing that really annoys me is they were ready to go to their new home. They had buyers. Yeah, they were. I was just waiting for the investigations to be done and sell them off. But hey, lesson learned. I try to lock it up as good as I can now. I always like to trust people, but yeah, they're pissing me off.
They don't live in that world anymore, unfortunately.
Well, John and I were going back and forth and talking about. I mean, everybody knows about the gun, but the monkey skull with all of that was like a cursed object or a ritual.
That was a ritual object. It was a cursed object.
Oh, was it?
It had something to do with necromancy.
Yep. That's what I thought.
So it was all ritualistic. It definitely had something bad attached to it. And it was a very expensive piece. As much as you didn't think it was, it is. And it's not a good piece, for sure. But it's just like, Nana's gone. I was kind of attached to her, and everything was done. She was ready to go to her new home.
Yeah.
Went to a different home. Maybe karma will be coming.
I believe in karma. I believe in karma. We were driving and the traffic was stopped, and how like when a road, like when you turn and cars let you go because there's like you're at a light or whatever. This guy literally pulled up this kid and blocked me, and I'm just like, it's okay, karma going to get him
She's been
later.
angry about this
All
all
day.
day long.
All day. If I had an old car, I think I would have hit him.
She turns into a truck driver. It's F this, you F and that, you F. I'm like, let it go, man. It's gone. It's
I'm just
over
like,
with.
yeah, karma going to get you.
Have you ever, and I don't know if we ever talked about this, you have do you work up there in the gallery too, or do you work in your office? That's just storage up there?
Yeah. Yeah. I work in my office. Actually, all my art's made at my dining room table.
Okay.
So,
Do you ever keep any of the objects that you won't sell ever?
art?
Do you have any up there? No, the objects.
Oh,
ever.
no. Actually, upstairs, there's a lot of haunted objects.
Yeah.
That you won't sell or that.
For sale, they're just in waiting. Ladies in waiting. No, there are things that I will eventually get to and bring to the shop.
But there's nothing you've ever acquired that you were like, I'm keeping that for whatever reason.
Do I even have a haunted object? I don't keep a haunted object. I don't think I have any. Well, I mean, they could be. I might not know. But I had some haunted things, but that's how I started the thing at the shop. I took them and put them in the case and sold them. I don't get too attached to anything. You know what I mean? If it's not living, I don't get attached.
See, I would. I'm really I'm superstitious, and I'm really weird about certain things that I keep for like weird reasons, and I won't get rid of. And I don't know. I'm always afraid of like I said, even these I'm wearing because my things have been okay, and
oh no,
I don't mess with crap like that because I'll take them off one day and I'll forget to wear them, and something bad will happen. I'll be like, oh my God, where are they? Where are they?
That's John. That's not a paranormal. That's an Italian thing.
No, I get crazy when it comes to that.
Every time I say something, he goes, "Geez, you're gonna jinx us." I'm like,
see,
the hell jinx us?
That's the Maloik.
That's what he does. But he turns around and does the same thing back.
So, how long now has it been since you own the Creeper Gallery? How many years now?
We're going on 10.
Holy crap! Wow, that's
going to be a 5-year thing.
So, man, that went by. I mean, we've known you for probably 4 now, maybe 4 or 5, right?
Maybe more because started doing the haunted things. I want to say 2 or 3, maybe 3 years after we opened, between 2 and 3.
Oh, we got to have a 10-year bash, man.
Yeah, yeah,
we do.
Where are we gonna put it?
I know exactly. We'll have to have like rent out a space and have
no
a jubilation.
Let me tell you guys something. For those of you who don't know, like behind the scenes stuff, Donna drives me crazy a lot, but I love her. I mean, she can really be a pain sometimes, and but I love her. Sometimes she tries my last nerve.
Oh my God.
She is like a big sister to me, and
I can't.
Yeah. I think the audio's breaking up. What did she say?
The audio's breaking up, all right.
But I'll tell you what, I believe, and I've said this a million times, I think there are people in life that you're meant to meet.
Yeah.
And it took me a while before I met Donna and Joe, her husband. But I'm happy that I met her, and I'm happy that she's a really good friend of mine. And like I said, we have our disagreements like people do.
Well, everybody has disagreements. It's part of life. I mean,
but we are friends. She
That's
says
what makes it
when she
real.
calls me and says, "John, you were right,"
No.
everything just kind of stops at that point, and we find that love for each other. Oh my God, she fell down.
Well, gee, I wonder how.
I made Donna pass out on camera. Come on, what are you doing back
like
there?
I'm innocent.
He came open. Here we go.
He heard it too. He couldn't believe it either.
Well,
yeah, you make her feel better, Mama.
Over and headbutted the box the phone's sitting on.
Yeah. People are saying we should have haunted object palooza. We should have an event.
right.
That would be cool. See, they would come.
Yeah. Yeah.
What objects that we don't know about that may be coming in soon? Is there any kind of sneak preview? I know that vanity
That
piece
I
there.
can't see it really well there. The men's vanity.
Right.
Yeah, you got to pull that out. You didn't do that, did you?
Armand read it. I sent you that.
You didn't. You didn't investigate.
No, not yet. That's next week probably.
All right.
We'll do that one.
Yeah,
That's a beautiful piece.
it really is, and it has there is a little photo album with a picture of the man that owned it. So
Yep.
I thought it was interesting. Armand pretty much nailed that one because when he found the album and opened it and saw, he's like a hot, well-dressed gentleman, like he was describing. So it's an interesting piece. I don't know. It's a strong piece. You should do well with it.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I am.
There's
But
that and you keep moving it out of the red room, but there's this long painting that says I forget the kid's Oliver Putnam Young. It's a long skinny painting that
Yeah, I know. I move it because that's where I sit and I don't want to break it.
right. Well, you should try that because that's an interesting story, and I just brought that in like a month ago. It's really a rare piece, but it was a woman and her child died, and she created supposedly created a story about how his life would have gone, did the painting, and it shows different parts of Oliver Putnam's life, but Oliver
Huh.
didn't have a life. So yeah, it's a weird, you have to read the card on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe try it. So I don't know how you would communicate with it, but
Yeah, I didn't even know there was a card with that one.
yeah, there was. I think it's taped to it.
Okay.
Yeah, but even photos, like not all photos, but there are certain photos that I think, I don't know, man. I've been getting these weird vibes from photos when I go around and I look at certain things. Like there was this picture we saw at a place that we went to. I think we were way up in Jersey somewhere, and it was like sisters or something, but it was from like the 19 whatever, black and white, and they, none of them were smiling or anything, and they're all there together. And I got the weirdest. You all right? You all right?
Sorry,
You got water?
water went down the wrong.
Oh, okay.
But I just spit it all over the bed. All right.
You have to rewind that and play that again so we can see the
Oh,
actual. I'm actually going to go back and clip that, and I'll show it next time. I'll show it in slow motion.
I'm drenched.
But like I said, this picture had a bunch of women that were together and were really old, and none of them were smiling. They had none of them smiled back then. But man, I'm looking at that thing, and I got a weird kind of. I'm starting to think that even like certain photos, and I told you like that wedding picture. I think certain moments, and even if it's residual, I think they could hold a little something.
Well, Alfred was a picture.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I mean, I've had a lot of actually. There's a lot of pictures that have been through the red room that have attachments. So I always look. I try to find the pictures that goes with the item.
Right.
Very hard to do. But,
I could imagine.
Something. But I've been lucky lately. I've been getting more information, or some pictures, or like this had it in the drawer. So when I opened the vanity, this little photo album was in there, and it had his picture, his wife's picture, his child's picture. I'm like, well, how cool is this? It made it easy to track it. So,
but it also makes it, I think, easier to kind of, if there is such a thing, to channel them in, because you know more details. You could visualize them and their family and get the whole dynamic and work with that. I think if you touch them on that level, reach them, that they may be more inclined to share a little more.
Yeah, it's a connection.
It's true. Especially if it's just a loose picture, it's harder.
Right.
You don't know where it's been.
No, there's no context. It's just a picture of a stranger.
If you have a photo that has a name, that you at least have a name to track back if you know that it has an attachment. And I found some interesting stuff over the years, photo wise,
No, no.
that I can't believe, draw me in a whole album or hundreds of albums. And I buy hundreds and hundreds of pictures. I sell them for $1. But every so often I get one that's got an attachment,
Yeah.
which is wild.
Do you ever get nightmares? Do you ever get continual nightmares from any object?
I don't dream.
Ever?
No, never.
Really?
Yeah, I used to. I don't have any dreams. I can't remember well, can't.
I know. I would think that would make you dream.
You would think, right? But what it does for me, because my brain is like yours, where if I don't have something to stop it,
Yeah.
I'm up all night, every night, all night, and then just go, ideas, whatever. So that's actually been a lifesaver for me because I'm able to stop, doing that. But I've also stopped dreaming. So the only time I dream is if I run out of candy and I have to go to bed. And I do dream on those nights, but I don't have one. I'll tell you though, when I was a kid, it was horrible. It was every night. What do they call it? Nightmares?
Night terrors,
But I mean, I literally would have murder.
Oh my God.
Little kid, I can remember the one that sticks with me. I think I was 7 years old.
I mean, based on your artwork, you would never know. I mean,
yeah.
None of that comes through. You really hide it well.
Every as a kid was a night. Momo, I'm having a night, I'll tell you.
And this was cracking up over here.
See, that's what I went.
No, she's hacking up over here.
Oh, I went to say something and it went.
No. When it comes, because I have no artistic ability. I have zero artistic ability. Now.
Yes, you do, just in a different way.
Yeah, but when it comes to artwork, do you, because I know like the one book that I wrote, I would be in the shower or in the bathroom or whatever. And you know how your mind just wanders and I would get like characters and things like that. Yeah. The ideas for artwork, did they come to you, or do you start working on something and it turns into something? Or do you have it in your brain and then you make it?
Sometimes I just have an idea in my brain and I want to do it, and then other times I'll actually see something. I'll see a crack on a wall and it looks like a face or it looks like something else and I want to make it. Other times I just sit down and say, I'm going to make 4 creepy Easter puppets. It just depends. But I do get most of my ideas when I sleep or right before I fall asleep. Now I can at least get it before I fall asleep.
I mean, do you jot them down though? How do you remember them? They're just there.
I was a musician. We'd write just constantly. We would write, 5 songs a week or 3 songs a week, or we'd each write a song. I laid down to go to bed and I have hundreds and hundreds of songs going through my head. And the only thing I always said was, if I can remember them in the morning,
it was worth it.
Remembering.
Yeah.
Otherwise, not. So, yeah, whatever is still with me,
It's like, is there an earthquake happening in there in PA? There it is. There's the earthquake right there. We've taken too much of Mama's time. He's freaking out over there.
So, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I wish I could dream. But when I was a kid, I did enough dreaming for my life, I think.
I just wonder, because with me, again, I'm different. If I have an idea, I'll literally text it to myself and put it in my phone, or I'll jot it down, because it comes and goes that quick. Even when it comes to doing paranormal, like if I think of a new technique or a new way to do things, I'm like, I got to text that to myself, because there and gone.
Oh, really?
I'll never remember it.
See, I will remember ideas, and I might not. If I do forget it, I might think about it a month from now and go, "Oh, yeah, I remember that idea."
Not me.
in my mind, if I don't remember it, it's not worth remembering. You
Well,
know,
there's an interesting thing. Carol Garcia asked, she was asking about pictures and can they hold energy? What do I think? Why do I think that is? And Violet says, I feel it's like a mirror, you know?
yes,
That's why I think, like, I think with certain things, objects being included, I think it's one thing if you don't have mediumship abilities to be able to communicate with a spirit in a building or whatever, to try to just randomly connect in a space. Maybe that's possible. We've done it many, many times. But I think if you're actually holding something that belonged to them, that's real, tangible, a picture, an object, now you have that frame of reference that the spirit can recognize so much more easily as that was mine. That's me in that picture.
Right.
You
You
know,
can't be
that I
anything
think
else
there's a
but.
better connection that could be made, maybe that way,
and
with an object or a picture.
don't you think if now that you can visualize that person, that
Yeah.
it you speak to them differently in spirit? Do you know what I'm like
But I
saying?
think it helps the connection. I think the frequency kind of tunes in a little better when you have more of a personal frame of reference, like an object, a picture,
Right,
something like that. You
right.
know, that's what I think.
Or DNA.
Oh my God. I'll tell you again, speaking of DNA, when I first met Donna, I'll never forget a couple of the first objects that I was like, what is that now? She had a piece of wallpaper. Do you remember this?
From the murder.
The
That
murder.
was, go ahead, you tell it.
So it was in Baltimore, I think, Maryland. It was in Maryland, I think. There was just quickly the story goes, there was like a fortune teller, and a not good one, but I guess she was good enough because they were paying her and they were coming in and she'd tell their fortunes, you know, psychic or whatever. And one of her clients was a mentally slow individual. But she convinced him she would make him pay every week, and she convinced him that he was possessed by a demon. And the only one that could save him was her. And she kept charging him more and more and having him come more and more. And he couldn't do it anymore, and she wouldn't help him. So he killed her, he murdered her in the hallway of that home and beheaded her. And this whole area, the wallpaper, covered in blood and scratches. And they, of course, you know, nobody was allowed back in the house after the murder. But a contractor that came in and was demoing the house took all that wallpaper off that wall so he could sell it online, right? So yeah, so
People
I
are just
bought,
crazy, man.
yeah, I bought it, and I actually know the guy, so you know, he was telling me all about it. And I said, well, that is a really, and so I then started Googling the murder house.
Yeah.
And here there has been like paranormal groups right before it was demolished would go in and do investigation.
Yeah, John McGinnis is saying, I remember where that house was in Baltimore. He kind of knows that story. So, wow.
No, my favorite is when you that voodoo curse voodoo thing, and then John looked under the skirt and found the real teeth.
Well, and they're back. So
Yeah. You know how much that freaked me out, though? It was a total joke. I'm like, hey, I wonder if it's anatomically or whatever. I'm like, is this a male or female? I look and there's a human tooth, and I was like, oh my God. Like, human parts freak me out, man. Hair, teeth,
wasn't
bones.
It wrapped in women's underwear?
Freak me out. No, that was the other one that I was going to mention.
Kurt,
That remember the underwear one?
What?
It had
the voodoo doll.
Yeah, that one was nuts too.
Underwear wrapped around it. I mean, some of that's kind of to me, but that was they all had cool attachments to them. I mean, definitely had the.
That was my first interaction. I think that was like the first, like when we went in there, when we were talking about investigating the objects and the building.
Cases, yep.
It was like,
and there was
wallpaper with blood and underwear with something in it, and I'm like,
What is
what
it?
have I got
My
myself
favorite is
into
where
now?
he thought it was driftwood and it was a wooden foot.
No, Curtis Fish.
Oh, that
Oh,
was
that was a
another
good one too.
Curtis Fish.
Did you ever show people that SLS stick figure? What he was doing? Oh my!
Well, Curtis Fish was
Curtis
a real
Fish.
was a real person who died, and he was what was he wasn't a molester or anything, was he? He
Kidnapped somebody.
yeah,
Old
and
basement. He lives not. He lived not far from me here.
and it was a female that he kidnapped, and it was one of the, I don't even know how to describe it. The SLS figure was, I don't even know how to describe it, but it was definitely unusual what he was doing.
Pleasure.
John
Why-
McGinnis said it very
Okay,
right.
let's call it that. That was definitely weird. Yeah. What is it?
John said it right.
King of the shake weight. I
Yep.
don't know what that means.
Those shakes, those weights. that they-
I was joking. Well,
Oh.
I didn't need you to kind of spell it out for everyone. I'm trying to. This is a family program here. You.
Well, don't say
sicko.
you don't know then. Take it literal.
Anyway, Creeper Gallery is in New Hope, Pennsylvania. If you don't know, 7 West Bridge Street, right over the bridge. You
Yes.
just keep going straight from Jersey to PA. Donna's there on Sunday. John is there on
Saturday.
The shop's only open Saturday and Sunday from
Right.
still
Well-
12 to 5, right?
May in April, open 12 to 8 on Saturday. We'll post it on our.
You're going to be there that whole time? Oh, no, you won't be there. John will be there.
But that would be on a Saturday
Okay.
because we have the girl Lynn that works for us, so she's going to be doing later hours.
Okay.
Nice.
So definitely go by and check it out in person if you're in the area and you haven't done it yet. I mean, it's like watching anything on TV. When we're in there, if you're watching it, doesn't do justice to what everything that's in there
It is
and in the
small
Red Room. Oh, it is.
because everybody comes in and they're like,
It's small, but it's chock full.
it's small. It's not
chock full
okay.
though.
Yours, huh?
Every single spot area of that place has something that can catch your eye,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
be shocked.
And there's a lot of people, always
Yeah.
people, but
They're around.
it's worth it. So,
All right, my friend. Good
Okay.
seeing you again.
you want
We'll
to
talk soon.
say
Good
goodbye?
night, Momo.
Goodbye, Momo. Feel better, buddy. Poor kid. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Okay, guys, thanks a lot.
Night, Donna.
Night.
All right, that was kind of a last minute thing there. We were thinking of coming on and doing a live, and I asked Donna if she wanted to join us because we haven't talked to Donna in forever on a live stream. And people that are new that are following us don't really know the person behind the investigations that we do at the Creeper Gallery every Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever. That's Donna. She's the one who acquires all those objects. She owns that store. She's a brilliant artist, and she's a real good friend of ours. She has been forever. So hopefully we'll let's not. I saw your 15 posts about Violet. We will have her on eventually. I'm not ignoring them. But we will go live a little bit tomorrow. We'll try with John's office at that event, try to show you the people that are there, kind of show you the vibe of what's going on there at Camp Evans. And then Sunday we'll come back and we'll tell you all about it. All right, guys.
Have a good night. Be safe, stay healthy, and please be kind.
Night, everybody.
Good night.